This episode is brought to you by Opill, the first over-the-counter daily birth control pill available in the U.S. Opill is FDA approved, full prescription strength, and estrogen-free. Plus, there's no prescription needed. Finally, the days of needing a prescription for birth control are over. Opill is available online and at most major retailers. Take control of your health and reproductive journey with Opill. Birth control in your control. Use code BIRTHCONTROL for 25% off your first month of Opill at opill.com.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Halloween Podcast. I am your host, Lyle Perez. Today is October 22nd, 2024, and you are listening to episode 41 of our Haunted America series. That's right, 40 episodes I have done consecutively since September 12th. We've been to a lot of states, guys, but today we are heading to South Dakota. This state is known for its wild frontier history and gold rush towns, but also for its chilling ghost stories. So grab them lanterns, guys, because we are going to talk about 10 different haunted locations in the Mount Rushmore state. Our first stop takes us to the historic Bullock Hotel in Deadwood. Built by Seth Bullock, the town's first sheriff, in the 1890s. The hotel has become famous for both its Old West charm and its paranormal activity. After his death, Seth Bullock is said to have never left the hotel. Visitors and employees often see his apparition, described as a tall man in a cowboy hat, wandering the halls and standing at the bar, watching over the hotel he built. Guests staying in room 211 report feeling an invisible presence near the bed, and some have awoken to see the figure of Bullock standing at the foot of their bed, silently observing them. Cold spots and unexplained noises are frequent occurrences in the hallways, and objects often move on their own, especially in the dining area. Paranormal investigators have captured EVPs of Seth's voice, and many guests leave with eerie stories of their time at the Bullock Hotel. The hotel remains open to the public, with haunted tours available for those curious about its ghostly past. The Homestake Opera House in Lead is steeped in both history and hauntings. Built in 1914 by the Homestake Gold Mine, this opera house was a center for culture and entertainment during the height of the gold rush. However, in 1984, a devastating fire damaged much of the building, leaving behind an eerie atmosphere that some say awakened the spirits of the past. One of the most commonly reported paranormal encounters involves disembodied voices echoing through the theater, as though past performances continue long after the curtains have closed. Shadowy figures have been spotted moving through the seats, and several visitors have claimed to see the ghostly apparition of a woman standing on stage, dressed in period clothing. Paranormal investigators have also reported hearing the sound of a piano playing softly in the empty opera theater, adding to its haunted reputation. Though the opera house has undergone renovations, it remains open for tours and performances, with many visitors leaving with stories of ghostly encounters themselves. Devil's Gulch, located in Garrettson, is known for both its historical significance and eerie ghost stories. According to legend, this is the site where outlaw Jesse James made his famous escape by leaping across an 18-foot gorge while fleeing law enforcement after a robbery. But Devil's Gulch is haunted by more than just Wild West lore. Visitors claim the area is home to the spirits of two lovers who tragically died there in the 1800s. The story goes that a white settler named Nellie Harding was kidnapped by a group of Native Americans, and her fiancé tried to rescue her. Though he succeeded in killing her captors, both Nellie and her fiancé were fatally wounded, dying in each other's arms. Since then, people visiting Devil's Gulch have reported hearing moans and cries near the gorge, especially at night. Some have seen the apparitions of the lovers standing together near the edge of the cliff before disappearing into the mist. The park is open to visitors, and ghost hunters frequently explore the area in search for paranormal activity. The Hotel Alex Johnson in Rapid City has been a luxurious landmark since its opening in 1928, but it's also known as one of the most haunted hotels in South Dakota. The hotel was a favorite of politicians, celebrities, and even President Franklin D. Roosevelt, but it seems some guests never left. The ghost of Alex Johnson, the hotel's founder, is often seen in the lobby and hallways, especially on the 8th floor, where paranormal activity is most concentrated. Guests staying in room 802 report feeling a choking sensation while lying in bed, as well as hearing unexplained music playing in the middle of the night. In room 812, windows open and close on their own, and guests often hear footsteps pacing around the room, even when no one is there. Some visitors have even seen the apparition of a bride wandering the halls, believed to be the spirit of a woman who took her life by jumping from a window shortly after her wedding. The hotel embraces its haunted reputation, offering ghost tours and allowing guests to request the infamous haunted rooms. The Hotel Alex Johnson remains a fully operational hotel, blending luxury with the paranormal. The Sioux San Hospital in Rapid City has a tragic and chilling history. Originally built in 1898 as a boarding school for Native American children, it later became a tuberculosis sanatorium for Native Americans in the 1830s and then a hospital in the 1960s. Many children who died from illnesses are buried in unmarked graves on the property, and it is believed that their spirits still linger. Visitors and staff have reported hearing the laughter and cries of children in the hospital's abandoned areas, especially on the 3rd floor, which is said to be the most haunted part of the building. Ghostly figures of children have been seen running through the hallways before vanishing into thin air. Paranormal investigators have documented strange occurrences, including cold spots, phantom footsteps, and disembodied voices throughout the hospital. Though parts of the hospital are still in use, much of the building is abandoned, but occasionally open for historical tours, giving visitors a chance to experience its haunted history firsthand. Next, we visit the Adams House in Deadwood, a stunning Queen Anne-style mansion built in 1892 by a prominent businessman W.E. Adams. The home, now a museum, has retained its original furnishings, giving it a frozen-in-time feel, and many believe it has also retained its original owners. After suffering a series of tragic family deaths, including the passing of his wife and children, Adams himself died in the house from a stroke in 1934. Visitors and staff reported seeing the ghost of W.E. Adams, as well as hearing disembodied voices and witnessing objects move on their own. One of the items said to move is Mary Adams' rocking chair, which sways gently without anyone near it. Some claim to smell cigar smoke, a signature scent of the home's original owner, lingering in the air. The house is open for tours, where guests can explore its historic halls and perhaps encounter its spectral inhabitants. Our next stop is the Fairmont Hotel, another of Deadwood's most haunted locations. Originally opened in 1895 as the Mansion House, The hotel served as a gambling hall and brothel, with a history steeped in violence and tragedy. Over the years, it became a hotspot for paranormal activity, with guests and staff reporting encounters with two particularly active spirits. One is a former prostitute who took her own life within the hotel's walls. Her apparition is often seen wandering the upper floors, and she's known to open and close doors by herself. The other spirit is a far more aggressive presence, believed to be the ghost of a violent man who frequented the hotel. Staff report that this entity has been known to rip tools from the hands of construction workers during renovations, making his displeasure with the building's changes known. The Fairmont is still open today as a restaurant and bar, where visitors can book ghost tours that explore its dark past. Just 8 miles north of Mount Rushmore lies the Gaslight Restaurant and Saloon in the ghost town of Rockerville. This old saloon has a lively history, but it's also home to a few friendly spirits. One of the most frequently encountered ghosts is Samuel's son Harney, who once owned a bar in nearby Rapid City. After his bar was torn down in 1976, pieces of it were salvaged and brought to the Gaslight Saloon, and it seems Harney's spirit came along with it. Patrons and staff have reported seeing Harney's ghost greeting customers at the door, dressed in a well-worn suit, while others claim he enjoys playing pranks, moving objects, and even tapping staff on the shoulder before vanishing. Despite its ghostly activity, the saloon remains a popular dining spot, drawing those curious about both its history and its resident spirits. Located in the heart of Rapid City, the Elks Theater is a historic venue that's been entertaining guests since 1912. But while it's known for its massive movie screen and old-time charm, it's also famous for its resident ghost, Jimmy, a spirit believed to have lingered since the building's early days as an opera house. Jimmy is described as a friendly ghost, often seen watching over the main auditorium after hours. Staff have reported hearing phantom footsteps in the projection booth, and moviegoers sometimes notice strange cold spots during shows. While Jimmy's presence seems more comforting than frightening, his continued appearances add a layer of intrigue to this already historic theater. The Elks Theater remains open for both films and the occasional ghost tours. Make sure you take one of those tours if you're brave enough. Our final location is a place nestled deep in Custer State Park. The Black Hills Playhouse has been a beloved theater since 1946, offering performances to locals and tourists alike. However, there's more than just actors who frequent the stage. Many believe the theater is haunted by Warren "Doc" Lee, one of its founders, or possibly a civilian conservation corps worker who helped build the playhouse during the Great Depression. Actors and staff reported seeing costumes mysteriously laid out before performances, as though the ghost is helping prepare for the show. Others have felt an eerie presence backstage or seen shadowy figures darting through the seats during rehearsals. Despite the hauntings, the Black Hills Playhouse remains an active venue, and those who visit may catch more than just the show. And there we have it, everybody. Another episode in the books. That was our look through South Dakota. We talked about a lot of eerie locations in this episode. The Rushmore State has no shortage of spine-tingling tales. As always, if you've been enjoying the Halloween podcast, especially this Haunted America series that we've been doing, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on either Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. It really does help the show grow. If you have any questions, comments, or want to suggest anything for a future show, send me an email, thehalloweenpodcast@gmail.com. Also, I am looking for a more regular co-host to help us with all of the Halloween sitcom episodes that we do. It's a 1, maybe 2 times every couple of months type of deal, not too taxing. So if you're interested, send me an email to halloweenpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know how much you love Halloween and how much you love sitcoms. I'd love to talk to you. And make sure you check out those show notes because there is more information there about these haunted places, as well as the address in case you want to go take a look at them. And if you'd like to support the show, head on over to our website, thehalloweenpodcast.com. Check out our merch store. We got a lot of cool stuff up there, so feel free. Order some merch. All proceeds go to help the Halloween podcast grow and also to pay for some of those expenses that podcasts endure. So show us some support. Go to the website, order some merch. Thanks a whole bunch. And I can't forget about our Facebook page, facebook.com/thehalloweenpodcast. Go there, like our page, and show your support for the Halloween podcast. Tomorrow, guys, it is a very big day because I am heading to my home state of Tennessee, where Southern charm meets the supernatural. So come back tomorrow for that episode. I will see you guys later. Have a good night.
This episode is brought to you by Opel, the first over-the-counter daily birth control pill available in the U.S. Opel is FDA approved, full prescription strength, and estrogen-free. Plus, there's no prescription needed. Finally, the days of needing a prescription for birth control are over. Opel is available online and at most major retailers. Take control of your health and reproductive journey with Opel. Birth control in your control. Use code BIRTHCONTROL for 25% off your first month of Opel at opel.com.